All right, Shalom. This is Parathon of the Great Millstone Houston Camp, back with another lesson to edify the elect of the nation of Israel. So before I begin, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Racha Quadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the Great Millstone, and peace, blessing, and salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, we are the chosen seed of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which the Most High Yahweh, through His Son Yahushua, had given us the covenants and the promises which pertain salvation in the future rulership of the world. Now, not all Israelites are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You have other nations that look like us, and we also look like other nations. But that is the general identity of the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So in this lesson, I want to get into the MOTB. Before I get into it, all right, I want to play this video. So play this video, get some precepts, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying.
Here's a tailgate that's one part swing gate and all parts easy access. The new 2024 Ford F-150 with Pro Access tailgate.
Let me show you first of all what the device looks like. And as Amy said, all we have is basically tweets at this point about this. But this is what the device looks like. And this is a device then that would sit in a certain area of the brain. So that's the interface that we're talking about, the brain-computer interface. It's then connected to something that sits in the chest, which is essentially via Bluetooth, giving off signals to devices, a smartphone, a mouse, things like that. So the idea is then to connect that particular part of the brain via the device we just showed you to the environment, specifically some of these devices around them. It's not the first time, maybe the first time for Neuralink, but these brain-computer interfaces have been implanted before. I had a chance to talk to the CEO of Synchron, which is another company. They've been implanting these devices, specifically to ask him about what these devices are. Take a listen. What is a brain-computer interface?
If you can get a device that can detect and interact with brain activity, which is all electrical signals, then you can potentially restore that component of the brain.
So what that basically means, let me just show you to your question, Jake. If you have a device that's sitting in a very specific part of the brain, this is a part of the brain that controls motor function. The device sits there, and then basically over time, the device learns what is the electrical pattern in the brain when someone thinks to move a mouse forward or move it to the right. It starts to learn that. After a while, the device knows enough that when a person simply thinks about this, so this is a person who has quadriplegia, for example, when they simply think this, they can actually create movement on a computer screen. That's basically where we are right now. The brain does cognition, it does sensation, it hears, it sees. This is motor. This is motor function that could potentially be restored to some extent for someone who doesn't have it because of ALS or quadriplegia.
Bro, that's crazy. What I'm going to do
normal distribution
is I'm going to play that one more time. Let's
reduce speed, increase standard deviation for a wider angular strike.
get rid of this ad.
See the angles others don't? Make your move, genius. Tasty Trade.
Another ad? No.
Why did we choose Safe Light? Driving around is how we get our baby to sleep. So when our windshield cracked, we trusted the experts. They focus on our safety, so we can focus on this little guy.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Let me show you first of all that would sit in a certain area of the brain. So that's the interface that we're talking about, the brain-computer interface. It's then connected to something that sits in the chest, which is essentially via Bluetooth.
It's connected to something that sits in the chest. All right, so you got the chip in your head, then you got a Bluetooth device in your chest. This is some shit off of a movie. All right, off of movies. One movie in particular is like Ready Player One. All right, they got it all over the place, and this is called predictive programming, which is not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy, but it's not a theory. Esau, so-called white man, have been planning this for a very long time, and this is sinister. This is evil. This is left hand um, magic. All right, that Esau is gradually forming society to adapt to, slowly, gradually, um, creating a society where everything will be ran digitally, and plus people. Okay, that's why you have the Internet of Things, and then it will be connected to the Internet of Bodies, meaning the person himself or herself or its self nowadays will be connected to the internet, and everything connected to the internet is hackable and controllable. All right, and we see this in I forget the name of the movie. All right, it's not a real popular movie, but she was like she took a Jew centered around a woman that took a chip because she fell on hard times, and the chip was commanding her, and if she didn't do what the device in her brain said, it would shock her, it would paralyze her. All right, let's continue the video.
Giving off signals to devices, a smartphone, a mouse, things like that.
Right, you'll be connected to the Internet of Things. Okay, this device will be connected to the Internet of Things. All right.
The idea is then to connect that particular part of the brain via the device we just showed you to the environment, specifically some of these devices around them.
Right, in the brain, the chip will be connected to the different things around them. Right.
It's not the first time, maybe the first time for Neuralink, but these brain-computer interfaces have been implanted before. I had a chance to talk to the CEO of Synchron, which is another company. They've been implanting these devices, specifically to ask him about what these devices are. Take a listen.
Right. So like your phone, your Apple computer, okay, the internet itself. Eventually, Esau just wants to have that new Apple device that go over your head. He wants you to be able to, without walking around with this big device over your head, he want to be able to connect, have this internet in your brain to where you can now see the internet in this hologram illusion out in front of your face without the big pod over your face with people starting to play the games and shit like that. That's where Esau want. He wants you to be able to pull up the internet, download information into your brain. All right. This is insane.
What is a brain-computer interface?
If you can get a device that can detect and interact with brain activity, which is all electrical signals, then you can potentially restore that component of the brain.
So what that basically means, let me just show you to your question, Jake. If you have a device that's sitting in a very specific part of the brain, this is a part of the brain that controls motor function. The device sits there, and then basically over time, the device learns what is the electrical pattern in the brain when someone thinks to move a mouse forward or move it to the right. It starts to learn that. After a while, the device knows enough that when a person simply thinks about this, and this is a...
After a while, the device knows enough. The device is going to learn the person's brain until the device don't need the person's brain no more. And he would probably use it as a host, but it don't need the person's brain anymore. It can operate on its own. All right. And they're gonna pass this off as a medical miracle until the what people hoped would never happen is gonna happen. All right. And Esau is only gonna get so far with this. All right.
person who has quadriplegia, for example, when they simply think this, they can actually create movement on a computer screen. That's basically where we are right now. The brain does cognition, it does sensation, it hears, it sees. This is motor.
It does cognition. The brain does cognition. It can hear. It can see. Okay, all the uh, functions or senses. It all starts from the brain. Okay,
This is motor function that could potentially be restored to some extent for someone who doesn't have it because of ALS or quadriplegia.
they show this in Black Mirror, where you had an episode of a soldier. He was a Jake, and they controlled his every move. All right, let's get this real quick. This is Revelation 13 and 16, and it reads, and this is Esau Edom, okay, so-called white man starting with the elite. All right, they run the world. They control the beast system. NATO in the EU, and America is a part of NATO. All right, which is the whore that rided upon a scarlet-colored beast. All right, and he calls it all boats, which also the whore is Babylon the Great, which is the reason for the abominations and the corruption that's in the world. All right. Therefore, again, Esau Edom controls the harlot Babylon the Great, which is America. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So everybody, no matter your status, small or great, no matter your money, rich or poor, no matter jail or free, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, right? So what we have to do to understand what this mark is to go into our words. We're going to go into this word mark. It says charagma, charagma, all right, which is a scratch, an itching, okay? It's a carving into, that is a stamp, as a badge of servitude. And you take this mark, okay, it's going to be a badge of servitude unto your master Esau Edom, the so-called white man, which Israelites, we are the servants, okay, and the children of the Most High. So that will make you a idolater, okay. In many other words, it will make you a spiritual fornicator. All right. It means you turn your back on the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and you gave yourself over to your enemy, which you will be destroyed for. All right. That's a law in the Old Testament. Okay. for for the Israelites that serve idols, which this chip is an idol, that went into the other nations, what did the Most High do to them? Cast his people off. All right. It says, or a sculpted figure graven, a mark. All right. So what we do, we go into the origin of this word, which is karax, and it says a stake, a palisade, a rampart, and that's the needle that the RFID device is going to be in. The MOTB is going to be in this stake, palisade, or rampart. All right. It's the medical needle that they use to insert or create that mark, that graven image, that graven mark. All right. Like, go to the doctor, they draw your blood. Okay. Instead of drawing the blood, that same syringe, they're gonna have the charagma in it. All right. And then you have grapho, which goes into writings, okay, where they're gonna have all your information in that MOTB, all your vaccination records, um, your medical information, who you are, all of this, okay, with this mark that goes in the hand or the forehead, they'll be able to control you, literally. It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So this is going to take over the new economic system. It's going to take over cash. It's going to take over debit, credit, checks. Okay, it's going to be the new way of transacting, and that no man might bow ourselves save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, the number of the beast, which he uses this same number on the UPC code, the UPC, the Universal Product Code. All right, which is that barcode on every product. Okay, and you will be nothing but a product. The people in the world that take this MOTB will be the product of Esau now, because they have his mark in them. They be his property. For it is the number of a man. His number is six score. Well, it's 600, three score and six, which is 666, which is cha cha stigma. Okay, which this word stigma goes into stigmata, which is a pricking. All right. So within this number, you taking on his number, you ultimately taking on his image, his way. All right. You agree with his society, and you'll have that chip in it to cement it all. All right. And this is Revelation 19 and 20. And it says, and the beast was taken, which is this Esau Edom, his whole power structure, NATO in the EU, and with him the false prophet. The false prophet is the Roman Catholic Church, all right, that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. So you're gonna have the churches, they're gonna push the MOTB along with society, going to push the MOTB, and they're going to deceive people. One of the ways in this video that shows how they're going to deceive is through the medical industry. Okay, through the medical industry. All right, financial industry. Okay, all these different institutions. Esau is going to use them. Okay, to deceive people, trick people into getting this mark until it becomes mandatory and it's forced. Because first Esau gonna come off as a lamb to help, then he gonna come down with those draconian measures. They're gonna show his true intentions. It's gonna be out there. All right, who you serving? And it says, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. Okay, his image, his system, his way of life, his philosophy. Okay, which he's putting his image out there right now. Okay, you can't say nothing against the state, the government. Okay, they're blackballing you for saying certain things. You gotta accept the MOTB. You gotta accept the moles and the bows. All right. It says these both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. So Esau going to be destroyed by this thermonuclear destruction. Okay. America is going to get hit, and different parts of the world going to get destroyed by this thermonuclear destruction. So with that, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect.